Hey Sunshines, welcome back to Rina Loves Reading, a place dedicated to the books that we're reading, the ones we're adding to our TBRs, and the ones that we are finally getting off. So, this week, a little bit about me. I struggle with anxiety and depression while also working in a very stressful job. And the last couple of weeks, sorry, Roman's being attention seeking. But the last couple of weeks at work have been extremely stressful to the point that, the company I work for completely restructured. They changed our pay, they changed our benefits, and all of that. All working already with a population that is a very stressful population. So, over the last couple of weeks, we have lost some supervisors, we have switched our pay, we have switched our benefits, we are switching the organization that does all of our technology, basically. And for the most part, I was fine. Like, I could feel getting a little bit burnt out earlier, but this last week finally caught up with me. And I kind of had just like a little bit of a meltdown. Where I think all of the frustration and anger and all of the uncertainty finally just caught up with me over the last couple of weeks, and it kicked off my depression and anxiety. And I am generally a very introverted person. I have to be extroverted for work to get people to engage in services, but I am naturally introverted, so I have been going above and beyond on the extrovert side just to A, get through all of the changes, B, continue to be normal for the people I work with, and try to be peppy positive. But that took its toll on my introvert side, where by Friday I had not read anything. I didn't give a flying crap if I had read anything, because I was just like, I'm about to rage quit my job. I'm about to say screw everything and just rage quit my job. I don't care. I am angry. I am hurt. And I am done. So literally Friday, I'm just like, nope, I'm done. I'm good. And like, I was supposed to go out with friends on the weekend. I'm like, I am not in a healthy place right now. I will just bring everyone down. I just need to sit in my room. I need to cuddle up with my animals. I need candles. I just need rest, basically, where I don't have to talk to people. And that was so recharging for me, and that is the thing I've been missing recently. I have not given myself the chance to process everything that is going on. I've got family having health issues, I've got stress with work, and it just has taken a toll. And for me, I realized a long time ago, you can take and understand how I am doing mental health wise by how many books I am reading in a week. So on average with audiobooks, I can get about 5, 6 in a week. I know, a lot. That's what happens when you listen to audiobooks at 3 times speed. And by the end of the month, I can tell you how my month went by just how many books I read. So in total, I'm going to discuss like my favorite books of the year. I'm going to discuss my wrap up for it, but this week is just focusing on the thankfully 2 books that I finished on Sunday. So yes, I finished 2 books in a day. That shows you how quickly I can read books when I am motivated and I am not burnt crispy like I have been. So the first book I finally finished. So This Is Love, the Twisted Disney Tale. Again, my thoughts on these are, if you like the movie that the Twisted Tale is generally based off of, you're gonna like it. This one was just fine for me because I sort of like the Cinderella tale. I sort of didn't. I was wondering, why am I watching this? Why am I enjoying this? What am I doing with this? For the majority of it, because this one, unlike a lot of them that take place after like this one technically does take place sort of at the end of the film, but not, because it takes place if Cinderella was never found with the the glass slipper. How would that have impacted the world? So watching her progress through that, I enjoyed for the most part. I think the struggle was I didn't really like the Cinderella story, and basing all of it off of basically trying to find the prince and trying to fall in love was... It's basically the story of Cinderella. It was fine, basically. It was a fine book. I gave it a 3-star out of 5 because I'm like, it's fine. It's the epitome of fine. But I think I would have enjoyed if she had taken more ownership over her life and just not based it all off trying to win the heart of the prince. I'm like, Cinderella, you have been taking care of your family. You are doing all of this. Why is your entire book wrapped around trying to find love? I know that's what the movie is, but I don't know. The other book I read 3 books this week. I forgot about Take a Hint, Danny Brown. So I read Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I finished it. That was a very good book to get me out of the slump, because it was just basically it's a continuation of the Brown Sisters trilogy. There's one more. Eve Brown is next. Get a Life, Chloe Brown is the first book. But it basically follows Danny, who is a professor at this university, or a PhD student, I should say. She's teaching classes. She's going about this. She does not believe in love. She does not believe in anything other than friends with benefits, because she's had past trauma with relationships where she's like, I don't want to put my heart out there because they're just going to explode and implode. So I'm just going to not invest any time in a relationship. And then she meets this person that she's come in contact with every day. She brings him coffee. And he gives her a protein bar every day. And they develop a good relationship. And you explore with Danny how she is struggling with wanting this relationship, but at the same time not wanting this relationship, because of the fact that she doesn't want to believe in love and doesn't want to put the trust into that relationship. So that was a very good book to get out of slumpy. I love those storytellings where it's grumpy girl figures something out, but the realistic aspect of I am scared to commit to this relationship because I have been hurt in the past was very telling for me and very enjoyable for me. I enjoyed the characters, and I enjoyed seeing like the little pop-ins from the characters that we had met with Chloe Brown. I'm enjoying and looking forward to reading the last book in the trilogy, Get a Life, Eve Brown. I've heard mixed reviews on that in terms of it's not as good as the other two, but I want to give it a shot in terms of that. That way I also finish another series that I bought and owned for a couple years now. I need to reduce the series that I own all of them for. Like, I need to finish the Women's Murder Club by James Patterson. I have up to like 19. I'm on 5. I've got to finish what else? Mortal Instruments series. I know there's like 5 series, but I've got Red Scrolls to read, and I've got Chain of Iron to read, and I want to get up on those because I have that. I want to finish the Bones series, so I own all of the books that Bones, the TV show, were based off of. I want to finish reading those. I want to finish a lot of this series of culinary mysteries I like. I'm a big fluffy culinary mystery girl when I want to be. That is my bread and butter. I grew up on like the Mary-Kate and Ashley mystery series, and I think that is coming back into adulthood where my warm, fluffy, I don't want to deal with humans right now books are a lot of like the culinary mysteries. But I've got a ton of those to read. Realistically, I am a book hoarder in terms of, so when I started this job, I have a few interests. I did not for years get physical books. I just recently started getting physical books again in the last year and a half because I like the ambiance / I move so much that books are heavy, and I'm like, now I'm going to stay here for a little while. I'm going to get myself some books because they make me feel happy. So I did. But in that time, because I did not want to have physical books because of the potential of moving them, and I am stubborn and will try to do that all by myself, I got a lot of digital books. And when I mean a lot of them, it's an embarrassing amount of unread books that I own. Which is why basically I made an entire list of books and basically called it my Clear My Kindle list, that for every page of unread books I have, and there were 251 of them at the time that I made that list, and there's 6 books per page roughly. Yeah, I had to pick a book that I wanted to read from that page at the beginning of the year to get them off my Kindle and get them read. So I've got a lot of those to get through, including Eve Brown, which is why I went on this tangent. But this month's books, and this, I want to focus on getting like 10 of those off the list. I want to focus on that list. So, my book of the month, spoilers, I'm going to be focusing on those. So, stick around later in the week. You should probably be getting a list of books I want to read this month, along with a reveal of the 6. Yes, you heard that right, 6, because I am ridiculous in terms of book of the month books that I got. So, going back to what we were actually talking about, the final book that I read this month was This Poison Heart. So, I did not expect to like this as much as I did. Like, I enjoyed Cinderella is Dead by this author. And if you're wondering, this is the Alcrate edition of This Poison Heart. I actually like it better than the regular edition because of the color schemes with the more blue and purple compared to the red and green. It reminds me less of Christmas. But for this book, I liked Cinderella is Dead. I like the premise of that storytell retelling. But at the same time, I'm like, it's a storytell retelling. With this one, I didn't know where it was going, like I kind of did with Cinderella. And I enjoyed it. So, I grew up a lot with the Greek retellings of stories in terms of mythology, so I never really got into the Roman side. But this one deals with Jason, the Golden Fleece, and the only previous experience that I had with Jason and that story was the Last Olympian series by Percy Jackson. And when I got into the story and read what actually the story was about from the YA perspective instead of the middle grade perspective, I'm like, oh, cool. That didn't happen like that in those books. Okay. Okay. Now we need to read more books like this. So this appears like it's going to be a series because of just how cliffhangery it ended on it, and I am for it. But exploring that Roman mythology where I previously had not had experience with it is becoming a very interesting treat for me. So, what are your thoughts on the books I read this week? Are you liking the Disney Twisted Tales? Are you also finding if you like the books, they're the same? What are some good recommendations for Roman mythology in like the YA sphere? Because I want to read more of it. Let me know down below in the comments. If you could like, subscribe, and comment, I would appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day and get back to reading.